Hi, I'm Abigail Klassen. I'm a writer, researcher, educator, and translator in El Paso, Texas. This research on intersectional women's solidarity in the Tres Culturas region and the state of Chihuahua has been supported by Dr. Patricia Isla Salinas at UACJ Cuauhtemoc, who has been researching Low German-speaking ethnic Mennonites and Rarámuri communities in the region for almost 2 decades and served as a consultant and participant in this research. Just a little background before we get started. I grew up in Seminole, Texas, where many ethnic Low German-speaking Mennonites migrated from the Cuauhtemoc region in the late 1970s. 3 of my husband's grandparents, as well as his father, were born and raised in Mennonite communities in Chihuahua. We were propelled by personal stories of cross-cultural interactions between Mennonite, Mestiza, and Rarámuri communities from friends, family, and community members to research more. And in the spring of 2018, we completed the Rebels, Exiles, and Bridge Builders Cross-Cultural Encounters in the Campos Mennonitas of Chihuahua Oral History Project, a collection of 50 interviews in English and Spanish drawn from the Tres Culturas region residents from a variety of cultural, religious, socioeconomic, and racial backgrounds. The material in this presentation is from this project and the subsequent papers published in the Journal of Mennonite Studies and Sororidad Intercultural in Canada and Mexico, respectively. The full bibliography of those articles is included in the text of this presentation. "30 full interviews and 70 interview clips from the project are available on the Oral History Project's YouTube channel, Dart Stories, Dart being the Low German word for village. This channel is an open access archive that seeks to showcase and celebrate stories from the Tres Culturas region. In both papers, I go into detail concerning the history and the socio-political, racial, cultural, and colonial dynamics of the Mennonite settlement of the Tres Culturas region. The first group of 5,000 Mennonites arrived in what is today Cuauhtemoc in 1922 in the wake of the Mexican Revolution at the invitation of President Álvaro Obregón under a set of privileges which included exemption from military service and educational autonomy. This migration was one in a series of migrations that began in the Netherlands during the Protestant Reformation that have over the centuries continued to include present-day Ukraine, Canada, and many other countries in the Americas, such as Paraguay, Belize, and Bolivia. Currently, there are 100,000 Low German-speaking ethnic Mennonites in Mexico, 50,000 of whom live in the state of Chihuahua. You can explore those dynamics more in previously mentioned papers. It's very important and relevant to the dynamics in the region today, but the focus of this presentation is 3 case studies of present-day intersectional women's solidarity between Mennonite, Mestiza, Rarámuri women in the Tres Culturas region. Just for reference, I've included some pictures of Cuauhtemoc and the Mennonite villages in the region, as well as 3 represented cultures that were taken at the annual Tres Culturas Festival. The first case study involves the Mexican Red Cross Campo 101 delegation. The Campo 101 delegation serves as an ambulance and emergency response service in the northern part of the Tres Culturas region. I've included a video and some photos that you can view. And the video is of a fundraiser that is representative of large-scale events that happen several times a year to support the Red Cross locally, nationally, and internationally. You'll see both traditional and non-traditional Mennonite women collaborating in this video. In the photos, you'll see Mennonite and Mestiza women working together as EMTs to serve the community as first responders. In the past, only non-traditional Mennonite women have trained as first responders, while traditional women work primarily in food sales and in the collection of donations, but this has been changing. The project has a wonderful interview with Connie Penner, a young EMT originally from the traditional Mennonite community of Huellas, who is a strong practitioner and advocate of culturally appropriate and responsive medical care across cultures. She went to a traditional Mennonite school and didn't speak Spanish before training to become an EMT. Just an inspiring story all around. The Campo 101 delegation is comprised of Mennonite, Mestizo, and Rarámuri staff and volunteers that sent relief teams to assist after the large earthquakes in central and southern Mexico. And representatives from the Campo 101 delegation were part of a national team from Mexico that traveled to the U.S. to participate in relief efforts after Hurricane Harvey, of which Connie was a part. Women from the three cultures are able to participate in public life for the benefit of their community, country, and the world in ways that otherwise would not have been possible or acceptable outside of the realm of social development. And that's really a theme you see across these case studies, is that through the framework of desarrollo social and bienestar social, women from the three cultures are able to work together intersectionally in ways that would not be allowed or would be looked down upon in other contexts. The work of the well-being of the community serves as a bridge between cultures in the region. So here are these photos from the Campo 101 delegation, video from the fundraiser where you can see traditional and non-traditional women working together. The next case study is from Casa Geburt, a birthing center and midwifery training school in the Campos Mennonitas in Campo 6.5, which is about 20 kilometers north of Cuauhtemoc. It was launched by request of the Mennonite community by a registered nurse midwife from New Mexico, Katia Lamont, in 2015, in response to the high maternal death rate and C-section rate in the region, caused, among other factors, linguistic barriers that primarily Low German Mennonite women and Rarámuri women giving birth face within the medical system. The school has graduated 2 classes of midwives from traditional Mennonite, non-traditional Mennonite, Mestiza, and Rarámuri backgrounds who are now working in the region. I've embedded a nationally syndicated news broadcast that looks at Casa Geburt and the work of its midwives in more detail. It's also available on the Dark Stories YouTube channel with English subtitles. They're doing wonderful work in both a clinical and public health setting. And as with all of the working profiles in these case studies, I'm really excited to see what happens with Casa Geburt in the future. The final case study is the Ministerio de Amor, bilingual Spanish Rarámuri primary school in Campo 14, which is a little bit south of Casa Geburt in the direction of Cuauhtemoc. The school is run by a Rarámuri couple, Bruno Ramos Rivas and Alicia Bustillos Gonzalez, who migrated to the Campos Mennonitas from the Sierra Tarahumara in 2010 looking for work. Their story is representative of a growing Rarámuri migration to the Campos to work as agricultural and industrial laborers. Their interview, available on the YouTube channel, discusses the dynamics, hardships, and surrounding indigenous migration and diaspora in Mexico generally, and the Campos Mennonitas specifically. The school was founded in 2011 by a traditional Mennonite woman named Maria Wiebe, who was concerned about the lack of educational opportunities for Rarámuri children living in the Campos. Over time, the school grew to serve 40 students in grades 1 through 6, employs 6 teachers, all from the Rarámuri community. The school is funded by the Klein Gemeinde Mennonite community, but is autonomous and has been completely under Indigenous administrative control since 2014 and is fully accredited by Mexico's Department of Education. The Klein Gemeinde Mennonite community and the Ministerio de Amor school sometimes collaborate on holiday events and community projects. In an interview that's available on the Dark Stories YouTube channel, Alicia talks about the importance of preserving and promoting the Rarámuri language and culture, and the ways that the Mennonite, Mestizo, and Rarámuri communities have worked together to ensure that the Ministerio de Amor bilingual primary school is a place where that can happen. These are some photos from the Ministerio de Amor school with Alicia and Bruno and some of the students. And some more images from the classrooms and playgrounds there at the Ministerio de Amor school. These are just a few examples of intersectional women's solidarity that we encountered in the Tres Culturas region of Chihuahua. And I'm proud to be able to share a little bit of the work that they're doing and look forward to seeing what's next for women working intersectionally in the Tres Culturas region. And so I just have a couple of slides here. A special thanks to some of the collaborators on this project. The selected bibliography that served as the basis for the research and the papers that were published as a result of this research. And if you get a chance, check out some of those videos that were linked in this presentation. And thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present.